What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope everybody's doing good out there on this Wednesday. I'm doing pretty good myself. Shout out to the sister Queen I Know Who I Am for sending me this story right here, for alerting to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's a very controversial story in a sense, you know what I mean? And the reason why I say that is simply because, like, as you can see here, it says single black woman defends her decision to adopt three white children. Well, kids, you know. Now, I guess, it's a nice thing when anybody adopts children, all right? She says she defends her decisions, though. My only question is this at this point. There are so many black children, you know what I'm saying, that really needs adopting. You know what I mean? Why are are you the lady? What I'm saying is, she distinguishing the difference. That in other words, they have to be white. That's the only question I have about it and everything. But to get into the story, it says 30-year-old Treka Engelman has had multiple people come up to her and ask if she was babysitting the three children that were with her. Her answer has always been a simple one: no, they're mine. That's what she says, they're mine. This question has been raised to her because her children are not the same ethnicity as her and range dramatically in age, but this does not affect Treka because all that matters to her is love. Okay. And it goes on to say here, it says, I am 30-year-old single black woman with three white kids. Love has no color in my home. All right. And right away you see, I bet you, I'll lay, odds to one, many odds to one, that those people that were approaching her were white people, wondering what was she doing with those white children. And this is my point. Now, you can see, like white people, like when I go to the grocery store and everything, every now and again, you can see some black children with white, people. And I figure, yeah, they were adopted or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But nobody, I don't believe, actually tend to, question them on basically, what are you doing with those children? You're not the same color. Basically, that's what it's all about. Then you got people like Charlize Theron, Madonna, and all of those people, going over to Africa and adopting children, black children or what have you. And they're even, I don't know about Madonna, but I know Charlize Theron, the white actress, is actually putting these children, this kid in a dress, making him think he's a girl, twisted shit like that. That's twisted. I highly doubt, that this young lady right here, Trika, will be doing this with these three children that she's adopting. But I digress. But to get back into the story, Treka has adopted three children: Elijah, Alexis, and Mercedes, through the foster care system. Treka was raised in a big family as she is the youngest out of 11 siblings. Sadly, her mother passed away when she was 6 years old. I've never really had anyone to show me how to be a mom, but I guess it just comes natural, or came natural to me. I have 20 nieces and nephews, three great nieces, and a host of cousins who I have always babysat over the years, Engelman explained. This is a very big family right here. Wow, it's a lot of children there and everything. But it goes on here. This love of taking care of children helped Trika's decision to become a foster parent. Initially, Trika was unsure if she could even apply to be a foster mom, as she was young and single. She soon learned that this would not hinder her application, as she only needed to be 21 years of age and her marital status was of no concern. Once she learned that she applied and moved into a 2-bedroom apartment in hopes of bringing in a child. This would happen faster than she could have thought. Trika attended the necessary classes to become a foster parent. Many of the courses were heartbreaking, as she had to hear about the horror stories that some children have to endure. Instead of backtracking, this spurred her on even further. Adopting children, is a very, very serious thing. You know what I mean? If you're not ready for, the challenges that it can bring or whatever, you shouldn't do it. But she seemed like she was very enthused about adopting the children. So maybe, she should be, she'll do good at it, what have you. Hearing the stories about some children that go through foster care just brought tears to my eyes and broke my heart. I mean, I lost my mom when I was young, but I couldn't imagine being without my family at that point. I wanted to take every kid in that I could, Trika said. Originally, Trika marked on her record that she would take in older children starting at the age of 4, but changed her mind and let the workers know that she was willing to take babies as well. The very next day, she received a life-changing call that a baby boy needed a home. On December 8th, 2016, Elijah Lee Hill came to my house. My heart just immediately dropped when they brought this tiny little baby into my home. As it turns out, he was my first placement, not to be the last, Trika explains. Wow. And I guess here is Trika and the little fella right here. You know what I mean? Huh. I've never ran across, a lot of these kind of stories like this before, about anybody, especially, so enthused to adopt children. In May of 2017, Trika was told there was 2 sisters, Alexis and Mercedes, that needed an immediate home. Of course, Trika said she would take them in. She was told the girls would arrive later that night, but that was not the case. I heard the knock on the door, and there stood this beautiful petite little girl. Her name was Alexis Bowman, but I realized she was alone, even though they said 2 sisters would be coming. Trika was told that Mercedes had gotten into trouble and had been sent to a group home instead. Trika knew the importance of a sibling bond and made sure that even with the separation that Alexis and Mercedes stayed close. Trika would take Alexis to visit her sister every possible weekend. I guess this is the little boy he didn't grow, a little baby boy right here. And I don't know which one is Alexis or Mercedes here. This is the reason why I say people should be, more careful about having children, you know what I mean? Because the foster care, system is just overfilled, with children that don't have parents. It's crazy, But I'm not going to knock anybody for adopted children because, it's not like I'm finna step up and do it. You see my point? That's what I'm saying. So, therefore, I'm not going to be one of those people that say, what you doing with that black child right there? You know what I'm talking about? Whatever, and the kid still needs to be taken care of, still to be, need to be brung up, That's what you have to look at. But they have to be brung up right, Like what I'm saying about that. Now, I'm against ABDC people, you see what I mean, adopting children. I am, because I don't think that, a child should be raised with 2 fathers, 2 so-called fathers. I don't think that a child should be raised with two so-called mothers. You know what I mean? I don't think they should be subjected to around that kind of environment. You see what I mean? So that's why I draw the line at right there, you know. But I digress. With Elijah growing and the new presence of Alexa in their home, Trika knew they had to move to a bigger place. Trika moved the growing family into a 3-bedroom home, which ended being perfect timing. Trika and Alexis found out that a Mercedes could finally leave the camp, well, group home, and they were determined to bring Mercedes home with them. On March 16, 2018, Mercedes came home to be with her sister and new foster family. In 2018, Trika turned 30 years old as well. So now at this point, it was me, a single mom, 30 years old, with 3 children ranging from 1 to 15. You know what I was thinking. I love these kids, and I wouldn't have it any other way. They needed a home, and I had more than enough to give them. While Trika has been their mother since the day each child had entered her home, it was on November 1st, 2019, that she became their legal mother. On that day, the family of 4 became known as the Team Engelman. She has some last words for any person that judges their family without knowing them. Okay. What I want to say to all the people who gave me the negative comments after seeing that I, a black woman, adopted 3 white children, I am doing something that most couldn't do. These children are in a great home with a loving mother. Love has no color in my home, and they are loved unconditionally. I have been talked about all my life, and that has never stopped me from doing what I was put here to do. I have a purpose, and I plan to fulfill it. Okay, all right. Nothing wrong with fulfilling your purpose you feel you need to fulfill. You know, because like I said, it's not like I'm finna step up and adopt children and stuff like that. That's a huge responsibility, but she's fit for the task. But I can kind of understand the questions. Why did they have to be white? Like I said, simply because it's so many black children in the foster care system. That's my only thing. Other than that, hey, what she's doing is a beautiful thing. I mean, you can't complain about that. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this story right here. I'm interested in hearing y'all thoughts and opinions on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And please remember to live your life as though we are being watched, simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.